Hey everyone, I'm back with a little bit of a haul and also some other things that I've been doing. I'm going to hook two videos together, so this is the haul part. If you want to see the rest of it, you can fast forward or whatever you'd like to do. So I purchased a couple of things from Amazon and another place. Okay, so I got some 5x7 envelopes. Oddly enough, I did not have any 5x7s. This is a purchase from Amazon. I thought I'd try these out for the first time. They are a 70-pound, 70-pound text weight, and they are what do you call them? They have the little strip that you just peel off so you don't have to lick. No licking involved. So these are the craft envelopes. I also ordered some white ones and some red ones for Christmas. Well, yeah, for Christmas. I'm gonna see if, I don't know how many I'll do, but I know that I'll need these for some larger cards that I plan on making. So like I said, I got some white ones and I also got some red ones. So these will be fun to have. And there's 50 in a pack. I also purchased this clip. I actually have two of them. This is for actually my sketchbook. So here's the one I currently have, right? I think this is a Heidi Swapp one. It's a bull nose clip. But the problem I have with it is if it is like a new sketchbook or something in between, it won't hold both pages down. So this one, which I just bumped the camera with, so this one will hold both sides down at the same time. So if I take this off, it can hold both and hold the book open. So I purchased this off Amazon. I got two of them. They were not cheap, but I don't expect that I'll have to buy this more than once. This is actually a product from Japan. I would have ordered the pink ones, but they didn't have them in stock. So yeah. I ordered two of those, two blue ones. Blue is my favorite color, though, if you didn't know. I also ordered some gouache. This is actually acrylic gouache from Holbein. This is from Amazon. They are the 40 ml tubes, so that's why they're so big. Here's a 60 one that I ordered. And I think I've shared this one. This is regular gouache, and this is acrylic gouache. So they are different things, okay? So when this one dries down, it's like watercolor where you can still lift it after it dries down. But once this dries, whether it's on your paper or on your palette, you cannot lift that with water again. It will not reactivate. So two different types of gouache, which I don't know. Arguably, this isn't really a gouache, but while it's wet, you can actually mix it with water if you want to thin it out. But you can also mix this with your watercolors. So if you wanted to tint it and you didn't want to buy gouache just yet, or you don't want to buy gouache, regular gouache, you can take your watercolors and mix that in with the white. Now, obviously you need a lot of pigment to get to a certain color range, but if you want to try this out, you can. So I purchased two large tubes of the acrylic gouache because I want to try some things out. And yeah, got those on Amazon. All right. What else did I get? I also got some flock. This is for Christmas trees. So what you do is you pre-wet your tree or other surfaces, and you sprinkle some of the flock down, and that activates the glue in the flock so that it sticks. Okay. This is made in the U.S. It's also, I forgot how much it was, how much weight it was, but it wasn't bad. It's 2 pounds. 2 pounds. I put it in a very large Ziploc bag in case some of it spills out, because this is not a resealable bag that it's in. So once I cut it open, I know it's going to start spilling out. So I'm going to just keep it in this bag. I got that off of Amazon as well and decided I would have some fun with some projects. And then the last thing I got is from this company called, well, I purchased this through this company called Michigan Toy Soldier. I don't paint toy soldiers at all, so they just happen to have this particular product. This is the website, I guess, or customers. Yeah, that's consignment. I don't know if that's the actual, I guess it's the actual website. So check there if you're interested in this product. This is a wet palette from Redgrass. Is that right? Yeah. Redgrass Creative, which I believe is a company over in Europe. I don't know exactly where they're headquartered. It's a wet palette for painting with acrylic paints or anything you want to keep wet. So the palette itself is the XL size. So it comes with these. This is a reusable membrane, these paper sheets, which I'm not going to use because I think that I don't think that this is the way to go for me. Yeah, it's made in the EU. It is 12 by 8 in size. Okay. It comes with some feet. Oh no, that's for the other product I bought. It comes with these sponges. So these are like you wet the sponge, and then you take the sponge and you put it inside the palette. This is the palette, and it's airtight. And then you put one of those pieces of paper over the top, right? And there's a front and a back to it. And then you put your paint on top of that, and you can then close your palette. And if you walk away for a day or two, your paint will stay wet. So I decided to go with this for my gouache, acrylic gouache, actually, that I just showed you. The white, because this dries fast. So you have to work a little bit faster than normal, right? So what I've just mentioned, you can put it all in here. Now this is an additional purchase that I made through the same company. This is the glass palette that fits inside this particular palette. Stay wet palette. So you're basically going to have your wet sponge in the bottom. You no longer need the paper, which is something you would dispose of. And this is a reusable thing. So you just put this in there. You put your paint on top. And then when you're done for the day painting, you can close it up. And it should keep your paint wet. And there is a seal around this, a rubber seal around the whole thing. So it should keep your paint nice and wet until you come back and paint again. You would push this down, of course. So that's what I bought from this particular company. I could not find it. This particular brand at on Amazon or some of the other places I checked. They had it, and this shipped very quickly. I bought this actually on a Sunday. It shipped out Monday and was here by Wednesday. So 2 days of shipping. So it was really, really nice to have that speed. Now the glass mat actually comes with legs too. So you get these little there's 6 stoppers in here that you can put on the bottom of the mat. So it's actually raised a little bit from on the bottom side. It's not sitting on the actual sponge. And then you got this little cutout that they also put in it so that you can lift it very easily if you need to clean it. And then you would just use a scraper, like a knife, to scrape the paint off if it's dried on it. Now you could use this for regular gouache too, for this type of gouache, if you wanted to, as a stay wet palette. Or you could use this gouache, which is the acrylic gouache. And this is what I intend to use it for. I have another palette for the regular gouache that I'm going to start up when I'm ready. But yeah, that's what I purchased. So stay tuned if you want to see more after this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, I'm back again. Okay, you guys are probably tired of me showing you all this, I don't know, stuff for watercoloring or for gouache. But that's what I've been doing, so I just thought I'd come back and give you an update. First, I got this stamp. It's very big. This is More Rocky Road Bars from Darcy's. This is in their Z line, so it is a very large stamp. And I got this off of eBay. Oh wow, it has the original price sticker on it, $15.50. Okay, I paid a little more than I should have. But I thought it was a fun little snowman stamp set. I do have quite a few of the snowman ones from Darcy, so this is a fun one to add to the stash. So hopefully I get to play with that this year. If not, another time. Why am I showing you this again? I got some new watercolor pans. Whoops. Did you hear that? These are the size of the Ganzai watercolor pans. If you're not familiar with that, the Japanese watercolor brand or Japanese watercolors come in these large watercolor pans because they have larger brushes that they use for their watercolor painting. So I wanted the larger ones for the white gouache. So this is my palette for the gouache. So I put two in here, one for the Winsor & Newton gouache and the other one for the Holbeins. So I do have, you know, the tubes for the white that I want to put in here. So yeah, I've got bigger pans for that, and hopefully that'll be enough for that. We'll see. So, oh, and by the way, I did get, it was in a pack of 39. It's a weird number, I know, 39, right? But I can use these for other things too. So I ordered these off of Amazon because I think there's a seller who has these in stock, and I had seen somebody on Etsy selling just one pan for $10. This whole bag was like, I don't know, not $10, I don't think. But, you know, well worth the price for more than one. So I needed at least two, and I wasn't going to pay $20 for 2 pans. So that came from Amazon. I finished some swatching, so now you get to see what it actually looks like in the book. I'm turning it to the side because my swatches are vertical on the paper. So I think I showed you what it looked like before I did the swatching. And now here it is inside the book. So these are all the Holbein 84 set plus the 5 mixing set. So you can see, as with all of my swatches, I always do the purples first before the reds. So that's just how I like to see them. So working from left to right is how I ordered them. And I put them in the order that I wanted to see. They are not in the numerical order that Holbein had them in the box. So just so you know that. So these are the first 40 that you can see on the page. And then, like I said, it was a Z-fold. The band is held together onto the two pages that are taped together with packaging tape. And then I used my Big Bite to put a little bit of a half circle in there for the band to sit in, so it won't slide. And so here's the other half. This is another 40 of the set. So there's more greens, and then the blues, and then the browns, and then there's some metallics in here. So Holbein has, if I turn it sideways, it's probably easier to see. Holbein has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, no, 7 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. There are 7 metallics in this set. I don't know how often I'll use them, but there's 2 silvers, and then there's 3 golds, copper, and then there's a white, a pearl white, which isn't on this set because I chose to put that with all the whites. I probably could have just put it here, but that's not what I did. So this is the second page of the Holbeins, and I have a third that I can share with you right behind it. So for these, we have the whites. There's 4, like I said. This is the pearl white right here in the left corner. And these are done, all the white ones were done on black watercolor paper from Stonehenge. I'm going to show it to you. This is the Stonehenge aqua cold press that I had. I just cut them up into 2 by 1 inch rectangles. And then did the gouache on these and used a white Jelly Roll pen to write this in. And then I cut them down just a little bit, just so they'll fit inside the little area here, and it wouldn't impede the fold. And then I just use some double-sided adhesive to put them down in here. So again, because my book goes this way, that's why you're seeing them on the left-hand side. But the rest of this page is reserved for the Iridori Holbein sets if I decide to purchase them. There are 48 colors in those sets, and I don't think they duplicate across the range. I think they're specific to those sets. I don't think that they duplicate, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked at it closely. And then we have the blacks. One of the blacks, okay, the primary black is right here. This is in the mixing set of 5. So I chose to put the mixing set here, the primary ones in here. And there's a jet black and a ivory black that are in the 84 set. So, and then of course, within the primary mixing set, the primary white that's up here actually goes into the 5 here. So they're all on that same page. You'll notice I did have a little boo-boo. I painted in the wrong box. I kind of shifted it over a little bit, so I had to come back. It's a good thing that the black is very opaque, that it just covered right over the yellow mostly. You'll notice in my swatches what I've done is actually on this side, or the top of the paint swatch is just color, and then the bottom half is where I've added water, so you can see what happens when you add the water to the gouache, because some of these gouache colors are definitely opaque, like the black and the magenta and cyan, but then you have like the primary yellow, which is more transparent or less opaque. So that is the reason for the black line down the middle. So those are the Holbein swatches I did. I have also done the Winsor & Newton ones, and I forgot that I bought more Winsor & Newton tubes, because I bought 2 extra sets. So I bought the 10 tube set, which is your primaries, has your primaries in it, and I also bought 2 sets of 5. One is a botanical and the other one's a seascape. And so I swatched all of that here. So you'll notice that, again, I did both of the whites that I had on black watercolor paper and then stuck them down to the paper. But then this is the rest of the other colors that I actually have. Because it's a seascape, you know, one of them is a seascape set. There's some nice blues in the range. And the botanical set had some nice pinks for flowers and such, and yellows. So, yeah, that's what I have. The only one that really, well, I'll just make a statement here. And it just might be my experience with the 2 different types of gouaches that I swatched. The Holbein, out of all of the colors that I have, and of course I have quite a few, it's 89 colors, right, that I had to swatch, versus these 20 here that I did for Winsor & Newton. For the Winsor & Newton, I had a lot of separation with the binder on the coming right out of the tube. So as I squeezed it, I noticed there was a lot of binder coming out as opposed to pigment. So I didn't have that issue with the Holbein gouache at all, out of all the tubes that I had to swatch. So I'm just going to make that statement there. I don't know if it's because the product was older or what, but there are quite a few in the Winsor & Newton amongst the 20 that I have that had that issue. And I actually had to go and squeeze it off. I just used a paper towel. I squeezed the tube a little bit to see if the binder was coming out or if it was the pigment. And if it was the binder, I just let it happen. And then I put a dot of the pigment on the paper. And you'll notice this one right here, which is Pale Rose Blush. It is indeed, I don't know if it's just binder mostly that came out, because that was one of the ones I had the issue with. The color is really like this. I have no idea. I didn't even bother to try and fix it. So you can kind of see which colors are more opaque, like the Viridian Hue and the Sky Blue. Definitely the Primary Blue. Ooh, the Sap Green is really nice too. So you can kind of see what happens in that case. But yeah, I'll just say, you know, in terms of quality, it feels to me like the Holbein is a better quality paint than the Winsor & Newton. Just from that experience alone with the binder just mostly coming out of the tubes as opposed to it being really, you know, mixed well and being able to hold that in it. So yeah, this is the swatch for the Winsor & Newton. I have not put these in my book yet because I need to swatch the Hemi gouache over here. And it's easier to do it while it's flat rather than folded up. And in order for me to do that, I have to open all 112 colors. See, these are all in tubes, so you're pretty much guaranteed that they're not going to dry out. But once you open that Hemi jelly gouache little packets, they can dry out. So that's the reason why I haven't done them yet. And I also made some more swatches because I placed another order for something big. So I've got more swatches here. These are made with a different type of paper. This is the Stonehenge Hot Press Aqua. I wanted more of a smooth surface for these swatches. So rather than going with the cold press, I went with the hot press. And this is a 9x12, unlike the A4 size that I did with these. So these are a little bit smaller. I had a, you know, a little bit smaller piece of paper, but not by much. And they'll still fit in the notebook that I'm using here, the Jane Davenport Traveler's Notebook. So I have those swatches prepared to go in here. And then I did a little bit of play, like, well, the extra pigment that I had from doing the swatching, I actually put it in here. So this is one of my sketchbooks, and I'm going to do some, I don't know, play in here. So you have some greens and the reds. I actually started with the reds. I forgot to do the purples because those are the ones I did first, and I didn't think about it until I was already into the reds, and I thought, oh, I'll just put the extra pigment on here rather than wasting it. And you can kind of see how opaque some of these colors, the colors are nice and vibrant if you are one of those people who likes color. So yeah, the extra pigment is in here, and I've got actually the blues in the back. I didn't do it with the browns because I thought, it's not as fun. So I'm going to do some drawing in these two pages at the beginning and at the end. And I didn't put them one right behind the other. I just kind of played with it. And then here I had already taped this off. So I put some magenta, I think this is magenta, in here. So you can kind of see it's got a gradient here. And it's darker at the top than it is at the bottom. And then this one is the copper. I don't know. I had a lot on my brush, so I just kind of brushed it on, and we'll figure out what I'm going to do with it. So that's what I did to my sketchbook. But that's it for now. I will be back, hopefully, with more stuff, and maybe I'll put these two videos together. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.